Last week in the JBL Cup Series, we had a bottom burner of a Brickyard formula at Indianapolis Motor Speedway with a 5 or 6 car battle for the win, and Logan Williams stole it at the end, swept the weekend in both Cup and National, and is second in point standings. Here tonight, we are in Joliet, Illinois at the Chicagoland Speedway. Have one of the craziest mile and a halves on the schedule. It is the McDonald's 400, race 2 of the chase, and race 20 of the season for the season 6 JBL Cup Series. Wassup Everyone, is your boy on race 97, aka Nathan Stapleton here, and welcome back to Chicagoland Speedway. And what a busy weekend it has been here on the channel and of course in the Discord. Last night we had Power Truck Series sign-ups. Yes, in case anyone does not know on YouTube, Power Truck Series is coming back this fall after just a year off, so excited to get to that here in about a month and a half. But we also had a crazy National Series race for fuel mileage, and now it is time for the Cup Series turn for 67 laps around this interesting mile and a half on this version. And we are in for a tweet here tonight. And we got wants to make up here in the booth, and of course last time you were in the booth, one of the drivers won, and Justin Seidel, and now for the second year in a row, Nathan Stapleton is on pole for Chicago, and welcome to Chicagoland Speedway.
Well, thank you for having me up in the booth again. I believe we had Pocono together as well, and then it was Road America, which, of course, Justin Seidel won. But always wonderful to be back up in the booth, and yes, you can see on the front row, one of the drivers, number 12, Alex Vitale, starts on pole. Very windy city, Chicago is often touted as. Will we see some very good racing as well? We can add that to the name of the list that the city claims.
Absolutely, and if it's anything like last night, then we could be in a tweet last night from the National Series. There's a couple of ruts. There was, of course, a few miles, but in between, we saw some really good racing. Some of the better racing I've seen here at Chicagoland. There's an inside lane and there's a second lane that, depending on how the car was, you could have won either or. And we gotta see what ends up happening here tonight. But this is a narrow mile and a half with this version. So we got some chase drivers with not good starting positions, right out top 2 in points with Andrew Miller in 21st and Logan Williams 21st and Andrew Miller in 24th, Duncan Wood in 20th, and so on. This is a tough track to make a pass with the inside lane and the second lane being fairly even. How do you think that's going to work out for some of these chase drivers starting towards the middle of the field?
Well, it just means that you have to escape the carnage pretty fast, as well as escape that hornet's nest that will definitely be very active as this race progresses. We saw it last season, especially towards the end of the race, if everybody remembers. So many crashes coming in the end. I believe we had 5 cautions here, a ton towards the end, so that hornet's nest is going to be very active, and especially if you're a chase driver, one of the chase drivers starting in the middle of the pack, like first in points Andrew Miller and drivers like that. Your goal right now for the first stint of the race, get out of there, get out of the hornet's nest, and come back up front, come to the lead.
Absolutely, and that's probably a good strategy to have, because it's going to be a 2-stopper here tonight, around 28 to 30 laps on fuel, and they might try and undercut it on the second stop and pit anywhere from like 55 to 60. Depending on what ends up happening, so we gotta see what ends up happening, and of course the start of the race can be very, very hectic. And before we get this race started, here are the chase standings after the crazy opener at Indianapolis Motor Speedway last week. Andrew Miller is still the point leader, but only by 13 points over last week's winner of Logan Williams. Logan Dorn in third, minus 15. All 3 of them are the lowest 3 chases starting out here tonight, so this could be a real shake-up. Matthew Hubert, 4th in points, starts second alongside Alex Vitale on the front row. He's minus 17. Stuart Brown in 5th, minus 19. Alan Abel had a big week last week at Minneapolis, and he was one of the top 5, top 6 cars that could have won that race. And honestly, you could have said that he probably should have won. He's up to 6th place after being a wild card, and he's 31 points back. Jordan Edwards in 7th, minus 34. Duncan Wood, minus 36. Ronald Kennington, minus 45. Nicholas Samadeo, minus 47. Juan Garcia, minus 47. And John Andrews, minus 48. 9th to 12th are at a little bit of a deficit right now, and they definitely have to get the groove on. We still have 9 races to go, but if you fall too far behind, then you might be out of it early on. But all the chases that will start here tonight are as follows. We'll start 2nd, Dawn in 4th, Kennington in 5th, Samadeo in 6th, Andrews in 11th, Juan Garcia in 12th, Jordan Edwards in 14th, Stuart Grant in 15th, and Abel in 16th. And then we got Duncan Wood in 20th, Logan Williams in 21st, and then Andrew Miller in 24th. So I got Valencio cards mixed up is Wood, that's in the middle of the field, not Local Dawn. But here tonight is Alexander Vitali. Like I said, he won the pole last year, got 2nd here, and he is back on pole. And alongside Miss Matthew Hubert in the number 5. Eric Marco in the number 16. Can he finally have a good one after having a lot of good ones in a lot of fast race cars this season? But not quite getting the job done. He was fast here last night. In the National Series, he starts 3rd, Local Dawn in 4th. And then the number 19, that is Ronald Kennington in 5th. Samadeo in 6th. Last night's winner of Sean Stout, can he do what Local Williams did last weekend and do the Chicagoland sweep? Eli Bright in the 8th position. And the man at the top 10 is Ned Lopez and Joe Witkowski. And we're going to have to wait and see what ends up happening. This is a wild mile and a half. And Blossom, I'm going to pass it on to you. Who do you think will win race 20 on the season and chase race number 2 for the McDonald's 400?
Well, from my standpoint, at least what I'm looking at here on the sheet, I'm looking at the drivers that are in the points positions, where they start, where they are in the leaderboard in the points. And one name is catching my eye, a rookie that hasn't really turned up the heat as of late, like his other competitor in Rookie of the Year points, that being the surprise rookie here, if I can find his name, Stuart Gratton. Sorry, it slipped my mind. Of course, I'm talking about Nicholas Samadeo. I believe he's going to get it done. He is a rookie that we haven't just talked of as of late. He turned up the heat early in the season, but since he's kind of calmed it down, especially now in the chase, still very early on. Anything matters, and especially a good run starting up front here. He's starting currently 6th place. I mean, what better way to start the campaign here for the championship than here at Chicagoland? Long race ahead, though, for all these drivers, so it's a battle of not only their car, each other, but endurance.
Absolutely, I like that pit. Samadio's been consistent, but really fine right through with a win here tonight. It's going to be a day-to-night race here, so it's going to start sunny and it's going to end in dusk or maybe even the night. And it will be Alex Vitali and Matthew Hubert leading us to the green, and we are racing for race 20 on the season, and for the McDonald's 400. Oh boy, very close off turn 2. Eli Boy about got sent. I don't know who that was. Off of turn number 2. Might have been his teammate, I'm not entirely sure. But how about this? Eric Monaco, 25th on points for lead lap number 1. Sam Vitali in the 2nd place spot. But he's going to dive down to the inside and try and make a move early on. Hubert might make it 3 wide through in the middle.
And Nathan is like he never left. I remember this racing from last season. Nothing has changed, and it's Eric Monaco leading this 36-car pack into turn number 3, with Sam Vitali on the inside trying to fight off Matthew Hubert here in the 5-car. The chaser up on the outside with help behind from the 3-car of Rogel Dorn. Behind is Ronald Kennington, a wild Ronald Kennington sighting. There goes to the inside. I believe that's the 54 there of Nick Lopez. A good showing early this race. Looks like Hubert's cleared for P2. He's going to try and set his sights on Eric Monaco, and he's going to do just that, side by side for the lead. That's just going to bring Rogel Dorn as well as Sam Vitale in the 12 back into this. Side by side going across the yard of stripes. It's going to be Monaco who leads into turn number 1.
Fantastic racing so far, and you gotta make moves now when the tires are fairly new. We got about a second after 2 seconds to fall off, kind of the norm. It's not too outrageous, but Hubert trying to take the race lead has a little bit of help from a fellow chase driver, but that's what I like about Chicagoland. You can really win that second lane, and we saw that in the National Series race. It's better in 3 and 4 than in 1 and 2, and Monaco holds on to the race lead. Sam Vitale went behind Matthew Hubert, non-chase driver, but he's been one of the better drivers that did not make it into the chase this year, sits 14th in points. And how about John Andrews, Ron Kennington, and Rogel Dorn, 3 chase drivers all side by side with each other. And Kennington, he needs a good one, 9th in points, and he wants something to go his way. Still looking for his first win, and this is Chicagoland for you. These guys are stuck 3 wide, and the top 3 are pulling it away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, the 3 of Dorn got shoved up 3 wide going into turn number 3 last lap. Thought he would have had to have his work cut out for him, but he's actually standing his ground pretty well, just ahead of the 23 there of Jordan Stout. But meanwhile, it is a 3-car breakaway here, led by Eric Monaco, followed by Hubert, then Sam Vitale in the 12. Dorn's going to try and make up, try and get that just whiff of draft, but I don't think there's going to be much of one because of how far out they are. But Kennington's going to be the next car on the inside, as well as the 34 there of John Andrews. They're going to work together down the backstretch. Here comes Sam Adio with help from Joe Rakowski, as well as Stuart Gratton behind. All of this, and we're starting to see big chunks form within this field. That's the middle, this is the front, and it's a battle for the front as Hubert goes to the point trying to take a look. Almost got it across the start-finish line, but he didn't quite get it, but he's going to get it down the backstretch now. If he can just clear. Is he going to clear? I think he is. He's just trying to use that inside line to his advantage, and he is there. New leader here at Chicagoland, just for a brief moment maybe, as Monaco's going to try and get back at him. Going across the yard of stripes, and it's going to be Hubert who leads that lap with Sam Vitale behind, watching all of this, being like, use up all your tires. I love this. But now, all this battling happening, this all brought the 3 of Rogel Dorn right back into this.
Fantastic stuff here at Chicagoland. I was a little bit worried what we would see, but this is fantastic stuff. And I got Hubert whipping the outside lane, and that is very strong in 3 and 4, and he's going to keep it. Sam Vitale back into the midst. And all this battling is allowing, like you said, Dorn to close in. You got Kennington in the 19, and how about Jordan Stout? He won last night in the National Series. Oh my goodness, Monaco about got turned by Dorn off turn number 2. And Jordan Stout trying to do what Logan Williams did last week at Indianapolis and sweep the weekend between Cup and the National Series. Kennington really trying to get past Dorn, and Monaco about to turn Sam Vitale off turn number 4. These guys can get really racy, all behind them, 3 wide maybe for the 4th position, and all this is allowing 4th place in points, Matthew Hubert, to pull away.
Jordan Stout was really pushing the envelope there, trying to make it 3 wide, almost got into his Toyota teammate there of Kennington. Kennington is going to pay a big price falling back, probably going to be a bunch of positions if Juan Garcia gets around. No, Kennington's going to fill the hole right there. Here's the 3 of Rogel Dorn, recovered very nicely. Kennington's going to jump to the outside, trying to get that run. Look at him ripping that outside, right outside of Jordan Stout, and the 43 behind this Toyota mini pack right here. There jumps to the inside, the 34, John Andrews, still side by side with 23 in the 19 here. Joe Rakowski behind, trying to find a way around. Nothing's going to be made so far. Meanwhile, up front, it is Matthew Hubert with an enormous lead on the 12 of Alex Sam Vitale, with Eric Monaco behind, and Rogel Dorn in P number 4, watching all this, asking, how do I get back up front, Nathan? And that's a good question. How do you get back up front when it is spread apart like this?
Well, you just got one consistent lap times and catch up to fellow competitors, and That's one thing that is very important at Chicagoland, and that we see a lot. This is a fast mile and a half, and you keep up with speed fairly quickly, and that's what Dorn's gonna try and do. Maybe just turn Marco, but Dorn looks stronger than that number 3 machine. That's not one since our club, but has been very, very consistent. Won the Legacy Championship. That's how consistent local Dorn has been, and trying to hang on for this race lead potentially. But we got some Tyler, and that's allowing, I think, some new drivers to make their way inside the top 10, like Sean Andrews. Is not won yet this season, shockingly, but did make it into the chase, and he was looking strong here in the middle point of this one. Garcia is inside the top 10, Sam Dio in 10th, Glenn in 11th, and how about Dunk? Well, he started 20th, and he's trying to take the 11th spot away from Stuart Glenn, Lopez, Trey Barlow, Eli Bright, Matthew Burnett in 16th. Jordan Edwards having a decent night early on in the 17th, Abel in the 18th position, and then top 2 in points are made their way up only a few positions after them starting, I want to say 23rd, 24th, something like that, is Miller and Logan Williams side by side back here inside the top 20. But then, unfortunately, you got some drivers struggling here in the back, like Travis Quentin, Justin Lydell, Alexander Rowe, as that is very tight between Giacomo and Hernandez. Bradley Williams having a rough night, and the same can be said with Varga, Miles, and Suswai. But right now, the lowest chase drivers are the top 2 in the point standings.
Yeah, and I was just looking at their starting positions. Logan Williams started 21st, and Andrew Miller started 24th. They're making up a lot of ground steadily, not all of a sudden, but very steadily. I would not be surprised if they break the top 10 before the first pit cycle. But back up front here, Nathan, the 12, Sam Vitale, has closed up. It's just going to be a matter of how fast can Sam Vitale get around Hubert here, because we know Monaco and Dorn behind very fast, and we're starting to see the speed in Stout creeping up, as well as the cars behind. That's Kennington behind there, as well as John Andrews and Joe Rakowski. Rakowski's actually going to take a look to the inside. He's going to back off just slightly, as well as catching Sam Adio off guard. All single file here. It seems the top 12, 13 or so. Very single file, very orderly. But now the top 4 start to get very smushed in, as well as this whole rest of this second pack chasing the top 4. Sam Vitale closes up on the back bumper of the 5 going into turn number 1. Monaco is going to try and look to get around as fast as he can to kill 2 birds with one stone, one move rather. Monaco to the back bumper. Nathan, how is this going to shake out? Because Monaco has speed. We know he has speed. Just how is he going to execute the run around to try and get around both Sam Vitale and Hubert? Because if he makes a wrong move, then he possibly loses his 3rd position to Rogel Dorn.
Absolutely, and I'm not surprised about this for Monaco. He's had a lot of speed on these speedways. He might have tight tracks all year long, and he has another good car, but Rogel Dorn with a good one off turn number 2. And I touched on this at Indy. Just because we have 12 chase drivers going after this championship now, still got a lot of non-chases that we're going to have to contend with all season long for the last 9 races. Especially at some of these faster speedway type racetracks like Monaco has been all year. But you cannot count Joe Rakowski, Alexander Vitale, Jordan Stout, Trey Barlow, maybe even Alexander Rowe, Eli Bright to get some more wins. This is so competitive that there's easily 20 to 25 cars that could have made it on the top 10 in points. So it's just really competitive this year, and we are seeing that with all these non-chase drivers in Monaco. Sam Vitale 2nd and 3rd, Jordan Stout inside the top 5, and then same with Joe Rakowski. So you got a lot of chase drivers up front, but you also got a handful of non-chase drivers.
I think with Joe Rakowski, it's a special case. We know the heartbreak of last season, so I think this season, even not making the chase, he's still trying to prove to himself that he is still as good as he was last season, trying to prove to all the critics, all the rest of the drivers in the field, that he is still that championship caliber driver. Just maybe not this season, but hopefully Legacy gets the right momentum starting Daytona next season. So definitely be rooting for them, because that's a good story to cover, as well as having the turbulent ups and downs of a driver and team. That's always a good story to come back from. But meanwhile, it is Stuart Gratton trying to take a look to the inside of Nicholas Samadio. That's all behind. And the 12 San Vitale, after getting passed by Monaco, falling back to third and almost into the clutches of Rogel Dorn. And to his teammate is Duncan Ward, about to get absolutely ran around the outside by Stuart Gratton, the very impressive rookie this season. Still side by side down the curved backstretch, mind you. It's not a straight backstretch. It's a curved kind of D-ish, D-shaped oval, if you will. If only the straight edge of the D. I'm gonna stop because that's gonna sound really dirty. But back here with the battle with Samadio and Rakowski, side by side going down the backstretch that shall not be named.
Oh.
And here we go into turn number 3. Side by side, Monaco to the inside, jumping to that opportunity. How is Hubert going to defend?
Defends fairly well, and I think we are at the point of the one we are almost at the end of this first fuel cycle. We should see pit stops in a couple of laps time, and it looks like here tonight, this strat is always different, but it looks like here tonight, the longer that this one is going on, the stronger that outside is getting, and it's getting harder and harder to make these passes. So that's going to be very critical after the pit stops are cycled, that these drivers go very hard on the throttle, get as much positions as possible. As I didn't even really notice until it happened, but Jordan Stout got a wham, Jordan who got a bad 3 and 4. John Andrews is in the mix as well, and that outside lane Bronson is very fast here on the long one. That's might want to say that Lukowski's on the inside. But one thing that I mentioned at the start, this is a day to night race, so it's going to get cooled off and it's going to get darker as the night goes on, and pit stops have begun on lap 28, who put the race leader doing the undercut.
So far it is only Hubert, 5 car and the 5 car only to pit road, as the rest of the pack will pass the entrance to pit road. No issues on Hubert's car, so this is a scheduled pit stop. This is going to open up the rest of the field. I am curious, however, on the speed differential from the start of the race to now with the tire wear, because we know tire wear does exist. We are now seeing Rogel Dorn hit pit road. He's going to be the second car so far to hit pit road, and that's another car hitting pit road right behind. That is the 24 there of Trey Bardo. He makes it safely onto pit road. But yeah, that's something that I'm very curious about, is how big the speed difference has been since the start of the race, now that the tires have definitely worn off.
Absolutely. It's about a second and a half to 2 seconds of fall off, and it started with a couple, and now it looks like the majority of the front runners are going to pit on lap 30, and same with some of the mid-pack drivers, and I think lap 30 was the perfect number, as watch out, April just got swamped on that turn 4, lost 4 spots there, and lap 30 was the magic number for the majority of the field. A couple of drivers to the undercut, but a very busy pit road on lap 30.
This is now the 12 pit stall number 1, Eric Monaco pit stall number 3. So far 2 tires. They are going to take 4 tires, full tank of gas, and here comes Stout leading the rest on a pit road. That is Duncan Ward leaving first. That's going to be Monaco who leaves first and is going to gain a position on San Vitale. It's a very slow stop for the race leader up to that point. You're going to drop 4 positions here, Nathan, right behind Nicholas Samadio, and almost is going to lose the position to the 48 of Juan Garcia. So not a great pit stop here for that number 12 team.
And that's something that you don't really want to see, I bet, in a slow stop from that number 12 team. Grant's going to exit out pit road and Stout with a solid stop as well. Kennington with a little bit of a slow stop maybe. And looks like we are going to be good with the first round of green flag pit stops. And as I mentioned, the second stop they might play some games in testing. They would pit about flat 54 to boy, Fitzwater. Fitzy about to beat Ruiz, and front of oncoming traffic.
What a save by Zachary Fitzwater, Nathan. I believe we need to have a save of the year here, Nathan, just for that. That was incredible from Zachary Fitzwater, but we turn our eyes back to the lead. It is Matthew Hubert with the undercut that pays off very well. He has almost a 3-second lead on the 3 of Rogeldorn, and then in position number 3 is Eric Monaco. John Andrews behind P number 4, and behind is going to be the 8 car of Duncan Ward. Then behind is Sam Adio, and that is your top 6 as it stands. That's Jordan Stout, Sam Vitale behind, Stuart Gratton, Trey Bardo, and the Hendrick teammate in Juan Garcia. That is your top 10, I believe that is, Nathan. So not a bad top 10 list. But now that the first pit stops are out of the way, now that we don't have to worry about that until in about 30 laps time, actually, how do you think the rest of the race is going to play out now that they know that they can push, now that they know that they have fresh tires? How do you think they're going to work around that?
Well, I think we're seeing it right now with Miller and Jordan Andrews and Logan Williams. They're really starting to push, and right now, Miller is inside of the top 15, so doing a good job just points managing here tonight, especially with Logan Williams not too far behind them. But shout out to that number 8 team of Rogeldorn, or not Rogeldorn, of Duncan Ward, inside the top 5 now, and that could be a contender for this race to win on the second round of pit stops. And John Andrews could be a sleeper. The last 2 weeks, Logan Williams has gotten all the shine from that front row motorsports team, but it's the John Andrews has been in every season for a reason. And he is a veteran, and he's going to get the pass made in 3 and 4 for the 3rd place spot. And it's going to be interesting because Matthew Hubert put on lap 28, Rogeldorn put on lap 29, and then everyone else, I think there's one other person, Trey Barlow was the other one that pitted with Rogeldorn, but everyone else pitted either lap 30 or 31. So we're really going to see how much the tire really matters here at Chicagoland. And these guys are catching up to Hubert rapidly. And unfortunately, a bad race at Indy is going to be a bad race for Noah Clifton again in the 36th position. And oh no, Joe Wachowski just had a tire go down.
How unfortunate for Joe Rakowski. Like I said, just ups and downs, the turbulence of the ups and downs, and that is on full showcase here at Chicago, unfortunately, for Joe Rakowski. Just, that team, man, cannot catch a break. I think it was Eli Bright who had a good run going at Pocono and had some kind of failure, I believe it was an engine failure. So, just overall legacy, man, cannot catch a break.
Sums up the season. They have had speed all year, but they cannot catch a break with the reliability issues, and this time it's just a tire. But I really like this battle right now. Monaco had it, Andrews took it, Monaco has it again, he's gonna block John Andrews. This is the battle on the race right now for 3rd, here with 28 laps to go. Meanwhile, the top 5, top 6, they're all catching up with Matthew Hubert on a lap or 2 old tires.
John Andrews just waits and bides his time behind the 16 of Eric Monaco. If he jumps going into turn number 3, no, he's going to wait right behind for another set of corners here. But who would that be? Would that be Diacomo?
And he just had an engine issue in that number 10 machine.
Very unfortunate. We're having a lot of issues as of late here, Nathan. But the pack very fast, catching up to Hubert as we speak. Taking little chunks out of that lead as the race goes on. We have reached over halfway here at Chicagoland, and we see the overhead lights here at the racetrack turning on, and dusk has officially upon us with its presence, and we are in for one hell of a last stint, Nathan. How about it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we are noticing definitely these guys drafting with each other, and maybe a couple lap over tires, but they are chunking away at that lead from Hubert. Last time by, 4/10 of a second was eaten away between Dorn and Hubert, and you touched on the duskness, and that's what I love about this version. And it's another reason why I won it, is that I love day to night races and it's not enough of them. So we've always done the day to night race here at Chicagoland for the Cup Series, and it's putting on a show so far. No caution so far. I probably just jinxed it, but clean and green so far. And if it stays like this would be at least the third race in a row that we've had a caution-free race. But once again, who needs a caution when we have the top 6 under a blanket under 1.2 seconds here, and it's getting good with 24 laps to go.
And here's Diacomo up the road. There's Monaco trying to take a look. He's going to back out going into turn number 3, and that's going to give the run to John Andrews off of the corner, and he's going to take it as well as Duncan Ward getting into that quarter panel. That is so tight, Nathan, going down the front stretch. Duncan Ward's going to be a roadblock. He's going to roadblock the entire inside lane, giving the advantage to nobody, not even the top 2, not even the 3 of Rogel Dorn. Hubert finally jumps to the inside, so does the 3 car, and that could have been the move for the lead for Rogel Dorn had it not been for Diacomo blocking the entire inside line. Here comes Eric Monaco with a huge head of steam, Nathan. I know Sam Adio's up here, but I think I might want to change my pick to Eric Monaco here. Man, he has got a fast car. Oh, and John Andrews almost takes a chop off of his quarter panel, Nathan. And speaking of Sam Adio, he's going to try and take a look to the inside, make it 3 wide. Almost make it 4 wide briefly. There goes Sam Adio taking a peek. He's on the apron. He's trying to race around as fast as he can, Nathan, off of 4. Unbelievable racing and unbelievable racing for the lead. There's so much action going on here, Nathan. We have the battle for the lead and the battle for P number 3 between Sam Adio, Andrews, Duncan Ward, and freaking Eric Monaco here. Unbelievable racing, and here we go, side by side for the lead, going into turn number 3.
This is why we have Chicagoland in the chase, and this has been fantastic racing here, Italian. Just like in the National Series, there is 2 equal lanes almost here this weekend here at Chicagoland, and it's really up to the car. 3 and 4, the outside lane's better typically, and 1 and 2 is better. Oh no! Stuart Grant just had a problem as well. He had an oil leak. Oh my goodness. And this is what we tend to see. A long one, and the cars, they get one down. We've had a tire go down on Wilkowski, a engine issue, probably a cylinder down on Diacomo. Now an oil leak for Stuart Grant, 5th in points.
Just to shift focus back onto Rogel Dorn, just to think he could have taken the lead. I'm just thinking about this even more. Diacomo hadn't blocked the entire inside line. Man, Rogel Dorn probably would have taken the lead and ran away with it, but it's not over just yet, Nathan. Here comes Dorn to the inside in turn number 3. Matthew Hubert slides up the racetrack with help from behind on the inside. No, he jumps to the outside. John Andrews does, and it's going to be the 5 who retains the lead this lap, but will he lead back again? John Andrews to the inside, trying to take a peek with Sam Adio behind. They're going to have to slam the brakes as Dorn jumps in front of them. Back onto the backstretch. They go side by side behind them for P number 5. That's Duncan Ward to the inside with Eric Monaco on the outside. Dorn's going to try again with that inside line. I don't think it's going to be able to carry enough momentum to get Dorn that lead. Here comes Andrews to the inside. He's going to try and take another peek, another very tight squeeze to the quarter panel. Where's Sam Adio going to go in all this? He's going to stay right behind and watch all the action, but now we have side-by-side action for P number 2 here, Nathan. And Hubert is going to slide and glide away from all of this. He is not going to need to worry about any of this until they get single file, because John Andrews, believe it or not, very fast driver, very fast car he has right now. And will it propel him to the lead, as now Duncan Ward has taken over that position, and his teammate Rogel Dorn has now fallen back. He's in the clutches of Monaco, of his teammate, of Sam Adio. Now the top 2 have gotten single file. John Andrews focuses on the lead. Before the pit cycle, we've just gotten over halfway. We've just reached over 20 laps to go, Nathan. Not a lot of time, but it is such a long stint still.
Absolutely, and Stuart Grant is up here with flush tires, but he is, I believe, 1 lap down. He's actually 2 laps down. The 10 is 4 laps down, and Joe Wilkowski is 2 laps down as well. And this is such good racing, and it's all because of the 2 to 3 lap difference. And John Anders, with a couple lap fresher tires, should be able to take the race lead here. And he does. And Michael Dorn with a lap fresher tires than Hubert, but Hubert with a good one, he's going to stay in contention. And I will just say, the top 2 in points of Logan Williams and Miller are inside of the top 10 now. So, great rebound from them for a poor qualifying one. And if Anders wins, that would be 3 wins in a row for front row if he does not get wrecked by Stuart Graham right there.
Super aggressive from Stuart Grattan there. Absolutely no need to make it that aggressive, but he's going to get his lap back if he hasn't gone two laps down already. He is still a lap down, I believe, so he's going to need to have another miracle as we are reaching.
The 2 just had an oil leak as well.
You were talking about the long runs here, Nathan, but we are reaching 10 laps to go here at Chicagoland, and it is anybody's game with one more pit stop to go, mind you.
Absolutely, you still got a pit stop. I don't know what happened to Noah Clifton in the number 99, but he was all the way on pit road, and he's a couple of laps down Monaco to the inside of Dorn. A great night for Monaco. He almost won last night until a few miles, and he honestly had the best car. So a couple of good races in a row for him. And where did he come from? Mr. Edge Nicholas and Dio side by side for the second place spot on the long run. And you know what? You might want to keep a pit nap on him, because this 77 might have been saving his tires to set himself up on the long one here. 11 laps to go, still have 1 more pit stop remaining. And what will these pit crews do? Will they take the only 2 tires? That's going to be the $1 million question for this race to win in the McDonald's 400.
You're right, no takebacks, Nathan. I want Sam Dio. I'm putting all my money on Sam Dio here. No takers this far, and we had a spin off of turn number 4, but it brings out no caution. We are still green here at Chicagoland. It looks like either of these cars that are coming off pit road, but regardless, we are somehow still green, and the action on track continues. Now we have a bunch of cars coming off of pit road. That's Bradley Ream about to emerge right in front of the leaders here. Sam Dio closing in immensely. Is he trying to hop on pit road? No, he is a big head of steam. And now Matthew Hubert, he has hit pit road. His final pit stop of the race, Nathan. He is trying for that undercut once more that propelled him to the lead in the first place.
I like that call, and depending on what everyone does, it could be a race-winning call, because he had a 3-second lead at one point after pit stop. So we're going to stay on Hubert here. And I'm curious, what's going to be the call? Is it going to be a 2-tire strategy? No tires? Or are they just going to do 4 tires to save it? To play it safe, it's going to be 2 tires at least for Hubert. And I believe it's going to be 2 tires.
2 tires.
2 tires for Hubert. None of the leaders are back in yet. Burnett is in. And then back up to the front. This is the 34 of John Andrews. And Andrews is going to pit. That's going to hold up the 43. He all the way went down. Same with Dio is on pit road. Marco is going to stay out. Dorn and Logan Williams. Garcia, Trey Barlow, a busy pit road here. Very, very late here in the McDonald's 400. Everyone will have to make a pit stop here. Even, well, besides obviously the cars had an issue already, they should be good. But here we go. Same with Dio, Dorn, and John Andrews, and many others on pit road.
And I must stress, even though we have not had a caution yet, if one were to come out, imagine the shakeup, Nathan. We have a bunch of cars a lap down. We have all the leaders a lap down. And we have enough time to finish this race under green. Oh my goodness, Nathan. Just imagine the caution comes out.
Do not speak it.
No. My lips are sealed. My lips are completely sealed.
Busy late race pit stops here at Chicagoland Speedway, and we gotta see how this all shakes out. And this is very good for some drivers that need a bonus point towards the chase, like Cunnington. And the number 19 just got a bonus point for leading a lap. Fitzgerald is in, BB Ruiz is in. It's going to be 5 laps to go. Late race pit stops are still happening, but we got to be getting close because a lot of drivers have gone onto pit road. And we got to see how this all shakes out. What will these drivers do here late? Will they do? If you only know, it's going to be 2 tires for them. All Miles is on pit road, Jordan Stout. It's the new race leader. He just led a lap. Now he's on pit road in the number 23. And we're going to try and maybe get a guess on who might cycle out as the race leader. There's Hooper in the number 5. There's Marco.
And Miller.
And Miller, where the heck did he come from? If he's on the lead lap, he's going to be in the 3rd place spot. Same with Dio's going to send it. And he's really going to send it on Egan Miller. Being and banging for the 2nd place spot. And now look at the number 3. With a huge one. And all this. And I think once it all cycles, it will be the number 5 of Hubert playing the undercut strategy again here tonight. But the 3rd, actually, no. Is it Andrews? It might be Andrews.
It is Andrews. Yes,
Andrews is in the lead.
2. When it reloads, it is going to be Andrews who retakes the lead. And behind is a hard-charging Matthew Hubert. 2 laps to go. No, 3 laps to go here at Chicagoland, Nathan. Lap car of the number 4 is going to hold up Hubert big time, Nathan. Kenneth Miller needs to get out of the way. This is the battle for the lead, for the win right here, Nathan. And we're going to have a classic Chicagoland finish here, Nathan. Andrews versus Hubert. Who you got?
2 veterans of the series. Of course, Andrews has competed all 6 seasons. Hubert in his third season, I believe. And it's going to get good. Andrews, if he wins, this will be the 3rd straight win for Front Row Motorsports. And won the regular season finale at Pocono. Won the kickoff race of the Chase last week, both for local millions. Trying to get rid of the 3, and before that, they have not won yet this season. So Front Row Motorsports is peaking at the right time. And you know what? Last night, it was the 12th seed of Jordan Stout winning. The penalty 1 to go. Can 12th place in points Sean Andrews do with what Jordan Stout did last night and get his first win on the season? He won at Atlanta last year for the 100th points race in the JBL Cup Series. And John Andrews, the wrecking on the final lap down the backstretch is official. That will be in the corner of the screen at the end. John Andrews will win the McDonald's 400. What a race this was here underneath the lights at Chicagoland.
What a race. What a finish, Nathan. Big crash to end it all. And we just could not go a race without a caution. How about it, Nathan? 5th career Cup Series win for John Andrews. And for Matthew Hubert, it is what could have been. Because that was his race. He did the exact same strategy that he did the first pit cycle. And for some reason, it did not play out the same.
No, it did not. It almost worked out for him. But John Andrews, with a faster pit stop, a different strategy. And how about that? John Andrews, he was fast all night. He slowly got his way up to the front. Was top 3 right before the last round of pit stops. And as the sun settles in Joliet, Illinois, John Andrews gets another win. And how about that? Front Row has won the last 3 races in the JBL Cup Series. Whew.
Yeah, that's pretty good trivia fact for you, Nathan. Pretty good race. How about it? That was remarkable. Chicagoland, man, it might be my favorite track. I gotta be honest. Every single race that I've seen, and even not in the booth, man, these races are just so good.
Chicagoland, the track that I fear sometimes, I will admit, but hey, we technically only had 1 caution on the final lap, and before that we had 66 green flag laps, and really, it was green to the end because it happened down the back stretch. So, a fantastic race all night long. And just the racing that we saw. The start of the ones that was very racy with the inside and the outside. And then as the tires went off, the outside lane kind of took over. But it's not impossible to pass. And what a race. I don't know what happened down the back stretch late. You guys are going to see it right now. Covering up the box that shows the cars. Just what a race. Unfortunately, I don't know who it was, but maybe it was Monaco that got hurt at the end because he fell back to 16th. So if it was Monaco, that's a heartbreaker for him and just sums up his season. But
And that stinks because he had a really good race going. Mm-hmm. He was up front all race, and I think I don't know if he started up front, but if not, he definitely charged up front very early, and he stayed there for the entire race.
Mm-hmm. That is what I'm thinking, and it might have been Local Dawn as well. Local Dawn's dropped back all the way to 21st on the last lap crash. Oh my goodness. Well, what a race here at Chicagoland. John Anders with the win, and we gotta wait and see at Dover next week if Front Row can go for 4 in a row. He put in second, Sam Deal in third, Duncanwood in fourth, and Miller and Local Williams. They start outside of the top 20 and they get 5th and 6th. So great ones for them. Anna Miller will gain 1 point on Local Williams, so Miller will still be the point leader. Local Williams will be in second. And unfortunately, because of what happened to Local Dawn late, of what we can assume, I think with Hubert having a good one, he's going to be up to third, and then Dawn's going to be in the 4th position. But then after that, I can't tell you if he's going to be in 5th, but what a race, Sam Vitale. Once again, another top 10, 2 years in a row here at Chicagoland. Garcia, Troy Barlow, and Stuart Gren. Gren, you know what, that's one thing I forgot. He had a oil leak issue, I think, but he was in the window, but he was 2 laps down, but he was able to make it all the way on the field, and he was able to get a top 10 out of it. So, I guess that worked out for him. But what a race here at Chicagoland, Bonson.
Yeah, absolutely. Just looking at the names here on the top, Samadillo, my pick for the win. He didn't get the win, but he definitely finished on the podium. A very strong 3rd place for him. He started 6th, 10th in points right now. This is definitely going to help his efforts. Andrew Miller, we saw that he had a very late charge. He was inside the top 3, I believe, at one point, very briefly, and then started to fall back as the race came to its conclusion. But a very strong race from him, starting 24th. Started 24th, and he finished P number 5. That is a very remarkable race. Looking down, Logan Williams as well. 21st, we noted earlier in the broadcast, finishes P6, so very strong showing. And then to wrap it up, our pole sitter, Alex Sanvitali for Penske Racing, Team Penske, finishes 7th. Not the result that we were hoping for, but very strong nonetheless, especially after the 2-car had issues. But, man, what are your thoughts on it? You always ask me about my thoughts, Nathan. I've kind of unloaded, but, man, what a race.
The streak continues, and there's the reason why that I put these races in the chase, in the chase. Last week at Indy might have been one of the best races I've seen at Indy for the Cup Series, and it went caution-free. This one was one of the best Chicagoland races that I've seen, and we didn't have a wreck until the final lap down the backstretch. So it was fantastic racing, fantastic season that we have had. And what a streak of races we are having, and I hope you guys have been enjoying it, because I have for the past 3 or 4 weeks, and we are not done yet, and we got 8 races to go, and I am very much looking forward to it. Next week, we will be at Dover Motor Speedway for the Wawa Formula, and that is going to be interesting, because the last time we were at Dover, it was early in the season last year, but now it is late in the season, in the chase. I'm looking forward to that one. National and Cup will be at Dover. And we'll see how that one plays out. And then we will be done with the speed race for a little bit. And then it will be Watkins Glen, the final road course race, and arguably the best road course race. And then the halfway point up the chase at Richmond. So it's going to get good. Some of the best races on the season are in the chase for a reason. And what a race here tonight at Chicagoland Speedway. Congratulations to Front Row Motorsports for the 3rd week in a row. But this time it's John Allen who's getting the win. And I think we know on who might be the best team right now late in the season, peaking at the right time in the season 6 chase. thanks for watching, for joining me up here tonight for probably the last time on the season. And congratulations to John.
College.
Yep, college. That sounds fun. Not really. But congratulations to Johnny, who's on the way to win a Front Row Motorsports Clinic of 4 in a row next week at Dover. We just gotta wait and see. And until next week for Cup and National at Dover, we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.